Showed you a couple days ago. This is by the Washington Monument. I'm going to flip the thing around so you can see what I'm looking at. This is the Washington Monument, and you see all these flags? Now, I believe what happened, if you could see that, poster there, there's 687,000 people who died from COVID. And if you wanted the website to put a note here, you go to Suzanne, FIRSTENBERG.com, SuzanneFurstenberg.com. So in America Remember, you'll probably be able to find it there too. But that's what's going on down here at the mall. Some people praying here to nice music. May be interesting, but it is. Boy, I mean, you know how disruptive everything was this year, last year, because of the pandemic, and also about, I think the most important thing about it was caregivers. How people, boy, so many caregivers, and it's just going to get bigger, and the amount of people that are caregivers increasing. Some get paid, some don't. So that's why if you look at the website I put on top, in the title, it's caregiver.org. See, you can get paid a lot of times for caring for a loved one or friend or whatever, and it depends on your state what it is. But the government, in the last 6 years, the amount of money that they're giving in existing programs increased by 40%, and that's just in 6 years worth. So it's going to get bigger every day, and Biden's new program that he has in Congress right now hopes to do this better, and the wages are terrible, everything. I got an article in my bag I hope to go over with you soon about that. And there's good unions too, so if you're a caregiver, I mean, the people that died from caring for people, and people that are caring for people who don't get paid, that you can get paid, but it depends on where you live. That's why that website I have up there in the description, and that organization, caregiver.org. If I screw up, let me know, I'll change it. But yeah, I screw up a lot of times now. So that's what goes on. Oh, here we go, okay. So that's behind me now. All the little flags, and in front of me is, I forget, Constitution or Independence Ave, one of those. There's two big things that go through the whole city. But the amount of caregivers is so important. I mean, I know members, Let's Go Help members, so many are caring for people. They can't get a job because they have to care for people, and they're caring for people for free, because it's a loved one, and that's a social responsibility, and that's a very good effort. And it's usually women, tell you the truth, but actually, for Let's Go Help members, a lot of men are doing that now too, because we all need help, and we know that's what we're here for, is to help other people. So all the caregiver stuff, kids aren't going to school, who's going to care for them? There's a woman who applied for a $1,000 grant. She has 4 kids and a husband dying of stage 4 cancer, and she's caring for them all. Man, what a lift, man. I mean, if we didn't have that, what would society be? I mean, it is, to me, the glue that holds society together. Particularly people are doing it, just one adult, a single person taking care of a whole bunch of kids, and some have disabilities, or you're taking care of, even seniors and your parents that have disabilities. So find out how you get paid for that. And even if you don't get the money, give it to the person you're taking care of, or something like that. And it's a complicated system. You have to go waivers and all that. And I don't understand the whole system. And because another thing is different by every state. So what you have to do is find out what's in your state, and just don't Google, caregiver or something like that. You're just gonna, the people, it's a big business. Hundreds of billions of dollars are giving out to the care business communities that get government grants to hire people for next to nothing, barely minimum wage. I mean, the average caregiver gets $11 an hour. Well, if you have nothing, then that's not bad. And if you're doing it for free anyway, but that's average. So I know people get $15, $20 an hour to do that. But you have to work to find out where it is, and there's free help. Don't Google, go to Google and think you'll just put in caregiver or something like that and get all the free help you need. No, you're just going to find people who want to take advantage of you to make money off the program. Because don't forget, the government's pouring a lot of money, $100 and some billion, and they're going to be a lot more next year, so they're going to make money. So they're trying to con you in so they can make money. You want to know how to do it without them. There's one place that is good, particularly for seniors, or you're taking care of a senior, something called an elder care locator. That's what I did for an immigrant family I was helping here. And they tell you what's available and what, how to get these waivers and things like that if they apply to you. And my parents are going on up in age. This is great info. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, we all are, man. You're going up in age too. I'm going up in age. We haven't found a way to go down in age. Well, maybe in my actions I have, but not in my body and healthcare. And that's why you need help figuring that out. Don't forget, if it all, if you all get screwed up with anything like that, always call your elected official. I mean, they're a good source for that to find out before you call it. Talk to anybody who's going to make money out of you. Make sure you know your options. I'm trying to find this. Okay, here's the article today. I found in the New York Times. There it is. Here's the article. I don't know if you can see it there. In a booming industry, right? See, the care industry is booming. I mean, you want to start a business, probably that, because there's more money, it's government money. That's how people live, off of government programs that pay for services that you provide. So when you hire somebody, you get the government to pay for them. Unfortunately, that's the way it happens. I mean, the same way with higher education. People started colleges because the government paid them. The government gave loans to kids to go to your college, and then they had to pay back the loan, and you got the money. So that's why there's so many. The franchise business is that way too. You start a franchise company, and the government will give money to the people to buy your franchise. And if the franchise goes under, you don't have to worry about it because you got the money already. So the government gets screwed. And that's why there's so many industries like that that live off government money, and then they say they don't want to live off government money because they're conservative enough to never take government money. That's nonsense. Every Fortune 500 company has a big office in town here trying to figure out how to get more government money. And for some things, I'm sure that's debatable whether that's worthwhile or not. Other things are more, like caregivers. What could be more important than somebody taking care of somebody else? But we get all the people in the middle, taking all the money before it gets the person giving the care. So here it is. In 2019, national spending on home health care. This is home health care, because seniors don't want to go to nursing homes anymore, particularly now that COVID. People were dying in nursing homes, remember? So who the hell wants to go to a nursing home? That's where you're going to die anyway, but you're going to die a lot faster for doing things like COVID. So that's why people want to stay home. The national spending on healthcare reached a high of $113 billion. That's a 40% increase over the last 6 years. And that's data from the Medicare, Medicaid. Okay. Now, the average salary is like $11 an hour, and about 2/3 of the home care revenue is through public programs, primarily Medicaid. So 2/3 of all the money that's given to caregivers comes through the government. So that's why find out what the government has if you've got to take care of somebody. Because we're supposedly a caring society. Usually not when it comes to families. When it comes to corporations, maybe we're a little better. But it's debatable, I think, with families. What else? Okay, the state and local government, and sometimes the local municipalities, split the cost of Medicaid, which makes the varying rules from state to state, including on what services home health aides can provide. So you hear that, what happens in Medicaid, and that's people who are lower income to get health care, for the caregivers, all the money for that, the states also contribute. So it's part federal, part state. And also the counties maybe, and local government. So that's why the rules are different in every city, county, and state. So that's why you want to go locally. That's why that website I have in the title, if you go there, they have a directory of all the states and all the sources. It's a wonderful directory of all the programs for caregivers, and also help. So it's not only the money programs, but also help. And there's in there, you'll see the legal help. You need help. You want to understand the programs. Medicaid, for we all should have been more info. Do you know how many people who have died because of hospitals? That's right. And so there's also organizations that help you with the information. And the organizations I'm talking about are not companies, these are nonprofits. You want to go to nonprofits to get information about government programs because you want to know the pure facts, not somebody who's making money from the government to tell you what they want to tell you so they make more money, right? I mean, maybe their heart's in the right place, but it's hard. When somebody's, when your paycheck's coming from that thing, that's hard. So that's why look at that website and you'll see organizations where you live in your state, that will help you figure this out. And that's what you want to do. So if you're caring for anybody, no matter what age, no matter what disability or not, or it doesn't matter, because aging is a disability. Boy, I found that out when I had to stop running about 2 years ago. I was just falling on my nose all the time. I seem fine to me, nothing hurts. But something about aging, it makes you a different person. It's fine, I can still do the stuff I really want to do. Sure, I can't play pro football, but I never wanted to anyway. This is, I think, what I always wanted to do. So it changes. So take caring of seniors, somebody with disability. I mean, boy, a member just wrote in, Let's Go Help member, if you don't know what that is. And they were 4 months being with their son and daughter-in-law, who was pregnancy with triplets, and she lost all the triplets. And so she stayed there 4 months to help them get through that, because they have some other kids and things like that. I mean, this is caretakers that we have in this country. And now she has to go up and like 1,000 miles away and taking care of a friend. Well, see, that person should find out what's available for them. And because it's so complicated, you just can't go Google or anything, or anybody, one person says it's not. That's why on Let's Go Help too, we have people by states. So you could sign up to a state program, because the people who have got this money before can share with you what they got. That's what I'm trying to do in Let's Go Help, is have a place where people share their experience. Hey, this is what I got, this is what I said, or whatever. And that's going to be a lot better than what I could tell you. That's right, everything I tell you, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not using it. Actually, I did use this. I helped an immigrant family get care for their 85-year-old grandmother. I didn't even know about that program myself, and I study programs all the time. And boy, they make about $25,000 a year now taking care of grandpa. Wow, I mean, that's cool beans. So that's the kind of help that's out there for you. But it takes work, and it's different all over, so you're going to have to work at it. But it is that way for everything. If you're not ready to work at it, and you're not going to probably get the help you need, because we live in a sophisticated society. If it wasn't sophisticated, it wasn't so complicated. I was a coder. I used to write programming, and you spend months and months writing all this code, hundreds of thousands of lines of code, and then you want to change it later and make a change. All you have to do is change that. No, everything is connected to something else that you forget how it's connected and everything. That's why if somebody new changes what was old, man, you're going to suffer consequences for months to figure out what hell screwed up. So that's why anytime the government puts a new program, it gets screwed up, because it has to go into an existing system that started 50 years ago. so it's bound to go. But you live with it. I mean, that's a society. We live in. What about caring for an infant of a family member who has to go back to work full time? Well, start finding out if that's possible. I don't know, it depends. Why not? Because there's daycare money and all this child care money, everything. This is more for sick people, but there's other centers. So you want to go to the, every state has an office that is in charge of daycare programs, okay? So, and child care. I forget, and there's a national list of that. I don't have it offhand, but there is. You have to investigate that. If you're not investigating that, you're hurting yourself. So take a half a day and work and investigate that, and try to use the phone to do that. You know, a place to go, I would start, is to go to 211 or find help and talk to people who are involved in daycare where you live, child care where you live. So if you go 211.org, put in your zip code and put in child care, you'll see nonprofit organizations that are involved in child care. They may or may not be useful to you, it doesn't matter. You want to call them and talk to them and ask them, hey, where do you think I should go? Because if you're trying to figure out where to go and you haven't done this is the first time you're doing this in your life, you got to go up the learning curve. You want to find somebody who's gone up the learning curve, knows that, and then don't even trust them because they forget stuff. So then you call another person who's been doing this for a long time and has gone up the learning curve and knows all about this stuff, and ask them what they would do. And then when that doesn't work, you try another one. That's the only way you're going to build the knowledge that you need to get the help you need. Believing me or believing one other person or anything like that, that this is what that's nonsense anymore. You can't. Nobody's that smart. Not even me. Nah, shit, I'm a dumbass, man. I flunked English in college, just scraped through college. Then I got an MBA, I was ready to study, but man, I hated school. People telling me what to do, it doesn't go down very well. So I used to just be the class clown. I enjoyed having fun, not studying Greek. That's what I was studying. Wow, that was terrible. Anyway, the kind of help that's out there. What else is here? Okay, also look at this. Daycare workers. I mean, caregivers. You know, states now have mandatory paid leave for vacation. So if you work for some service as a daycare worker, and they're not giving you that. See, they don't even, they'd rather not. They're trying to get as much money because there's a set income they could charge for the government. So they get X amount of dollars, so they got to squeeze everybody below them to make sure they get more money. Although the home health aides qualify for sick leave under New York City law, many people interviewed were unaware of that and did not feel that though they were truly permitted to take the time off. See, I mean, so if you're working for a home care agency, you are probably not getting the benefits you deserve. And that's why you even see the government pays for things like doing laundry and taking people to the store and things like that. It's not giving intravenous needles or something like that. No, it's people who need help to get through life. So if you're helping somebody else get through life somehow, because they need help to get through life, we all do. But this is more physically because they're not well enough to do. Have to have a living care. Something about living. Have to be living with a caretaker to get paid. No, it's different all over. But no, I mean, I've never seen. No, you want to go home at night. Some caretakers are living, you know, some are not. No, don't ask questions like that until you talk to somebody who's given out money like that, or knows about the programs giving out money, who spends a lifetime doing that, or their job is to do that. I'm guessing, and it may be wrong somewhere, whatever, you can't. But I assume everything I've read so far, no, because the people I've helped get money don't live there. And all these companies that do that, you know, don't have living. And actually, that's one of the problems. What they have, they pay live-ins only 13 hours when they're there 24 hours, and that's a problem. Let's see, improper billing. Oh, here's a thing. AmeriCare. Now that's one of those companies that hires people and they pay you with the government money they get to go and work for people to care for them, okay? AmeriCare, okay. AmeriCare was investigated twice by the Attorney General's Office of Medicaid Compliance Issues, okay? So the government, see, if you have a problem, you work for these people, you go to the government, because the government could stop them getting money. And that's power, man. If you could stop your boss from getting money from the government, they're living totally on the government money, so you have power. In 2005 for improper billing, and in 2008 for failing to detect workers with falsified training certificates. The investigations resulted in a total $15 million in reimbursement. So that company had to give back $15 million back to the government because they were screwing people. And also, there's a lot of, oh, here's another thing. If you are classified as a domestic service worker, that's another thing. That people, these caregivers are like domestic service workers, and that's caregivers also, so they're helping you work. Many of whom are exempt from the Fair Labor Practices known as the Fair Labor Standards Act until 2015. So now they were exempt from the laws, but not anymore, so they have to follow the laws. And the new rules began back wages tied to violations of the Fair Labor Standards Act by home health care employers have topped $47 million. Wow. So that's what's happening. You know, they people who are working as caregivers, you know, and for a company, you know, didn't pay you a fair wage. And so the government sued them, and now they had to go back and pay your wages. So if you were working for one of these companies in the past, you know, find out about this. So it's under the Fair Labor Standards Act. Home health care employees, okay? So if you were a home health care employee, you want to know about the Fair Labor and Standards Act. When you were working there, you could go back and get their money, see? They didn't pay you enough. And you know, companies have no incentive to pay you more, except government putting them out of business, see? And what are you going to do? Hire a lawyer and fight them for the $5,000 they owe you? Yeah, the lawyer's going to take more than $5,000 to fight them. You know, so that's why if you call the government, they'll sue them for free, and the employer could lose all their business, not just give you the $5,000, but they could lose everything from the government, which is their meal ticket, is getting government money to pay you. And so that's why there's also government money to pay you individually, not just for a company to do it. So that's what you have to know about. And there's 65,000 home care agencies in the United States. You hear that? 65,000 companies doing this. And you know, most of the people that do that, you know, are you know, lower income and don't have time to investigate stuff and everything. So the employers could get away with lots, you know, and not aware of the laws and things like that. So it's certainly, they can be taken advantage of. As one congressman put it, it's government-sanctioned wage theft. That's right. People are stealing wages like that, you know, and particularly home health care agencies. If you have 65,000 companies that are hiring people for home care, that means a lot of people. I forget what it is. It has to be, you know, millions and millions of people that do this and are not getting a fair shake, you know, which they should. So that's what you should do. That's why some places have unions for them. And of course, not all unions are great, but you know, in places they have to be great, because a low-income person can't fight an employer. They'll just go out and rip off somebody else who needs money, and so that's important. So that is caregivers. And actually, I just put up a video yesterday about this organization. Might say I took the relief money to give the richest families our state. And there's a lot of that going on, of course. because they lobby and know the laws, or make the laws. So you got to know the laws that protect you and what's available. Want to change the laws? That's another thing. I just want to show you what's out there now that you can take advantage of, and may work for you, may not. You don't know. There's no guarantee, for anything. But there's a lot of help out there. Oh, yesterday I did some videos, and one of them was for this company, caregiver.org. So it's about caregivers, and so look in that because the link is in there, and also it describes that. So if you want to look at that video, it's a very short video, a few minutes, describes what that organization does, and that list. What you want to see is that list of state-by-state sources of money and help. And it's wonderful. There's about 5 categories for every state, and that's what I look for more than anything. Where can I find somebody who did all my work and I could copy it and show you to it? Because that takes a lot of work, man. And people going through Google, they'll take you, a couple months of work easily to do what they've done. So I don't want to invest in all that time, and maybe don't. So I find people that did it, and it's usually nonprofit organizations, that know how important this is, and I want to show you them to do it. There's another good one like that. It's called Needy Meds, NEEDYMEDS.org, needymeds.org. They're great for paying for any kind of healthcare services. I'm sure there's stuff in there in seniors, there's stuff in there for dental, there's stuff in there for prescription drug. They organize all these nonprofit organizations and state programs that have. But the one about caregiver.org is that it's complicated. Medicaid, Medicare, that is, for what, 70 years we've been laying programs on top of that, on top of that, on top of that. And so it's very complicated. So that's why you want to find somebody who knows that and doesn't make money off telling you about that. And that's what this caregivers.org is. Caregiver, it's singular, can help you with. And by the way, see, these kind of programs, particularly Medicaid, Medicare, they're unlimited. There's not a set amount. As more people come up to the door, they have to pay them as long as you're qualified. Like my grant, I give out. We're only giving out, 30 grants this month, and that's limited. That's all. No more money. We got $20,000, and that's it. So but given programs that like Medicaid and Medicare are not limited in the funds. They're limited in the funds of how many people come up to the door. And that's important to know. And they're called. They're not even called grants. Direct payments or. Boy, I'm getting old, I forget words, man. So you got to put up with that. But I'm still pretty good at this stuff. Well, I wonder what's going to be like in 10 years. What was my name again? I have to look on my inside of my jacket. Oh, Robert Hall. If you're old, you remember that. Robert Hall was an old clothier back in the 50s. And that was an old joke at the time. So I forget my name. I look inside and I go, oh, it's Robert Hall. So that's what's going on here. So caregiving, very important. I think that's what I'm trying to do with Let's Go Help. Have people care for each other. Somebody is looking for something and you know something about it, put something in there, underneath their question about what you know about it to help them a little. Or if you see somebody asking something that, hey, I'd like to know that too, do some research. Do some, research and tell him, and then you find out too. That's how I learn everything. Because somebody asked me a question, I don't know the answer. I go out and find it, and oh my! Now I'm adding to my knowledge by helping people. I've been doing this for 40 or 50 years. That's a lot of stuff. That's why I like people asking questions, is that I forget what I knew. You ask me a question, oh yeah, there's a place for that. Let me find it. You know, so that's what I do in Let's Go Help. When you ask your first question, particularly on the Facebook one, with the other group, Let's Go Help 2, I'm not as active, and that's why when you belong to one, you belong to two. But I'm getting there. Let's go. What's your first book name? Well, it was called Getting Yours, The Complete Guide to Government Money, and I copied the whole book from a book from the government printing office. The next book was Information USA, and they both made the New York Times bestseller list, man. And I flunked English in college, so that was, man, I died and went to heaven. I never thought a kid who flunked English in college could have 2 New York Times bestsellers. Wow. But I didn't write anything. I plagiarized the whole thing from government documents. Okay, you take care of your wife's care, find out. Go to that website, find the programs in your state and start asking around. Don't believe one answer. You have to keep going and get multiple answers to make sure you know exactly what the possibilities are. Keep asking, keep asking. If you don't keep asking, you don't get nothing. Smash it if people show something. Smash it. What is my name? Robert Hall Store. That's right. You remember that, Joanne? Yeah, well, it's nice to show your age, isn't it? Sorry, I just got here. What's the website? It's in the title. See, I'm not that stupid anymore. You learn. Sometimes I run out of spaces to put the website in, so I have to put it in the description. But I put it in the title, so it's here now. You don't have to worry about it. Just look at the title of the thing. And then find your state and start call. You're not really going to get anything if you call. Okay? It's all about calling. Oh, yeah, I found another thing interesting. You know how the airline, if you fly, I don't fly much anymore. I don't think anybody does. But I didn't know that if the airline makes you sit on the plane for more than 6 hours before they take off, or more than 3 hours, you get $600. $600. They have to pay you $600 if they make you sit in the plane before they take off, or when they land and you can't get off for more than 3 hours. You get $600. Now that's cool, isn't it? What is it? Tarmac delays, it's called. TARMAC delays. $600 after 3 hours. If your flight is delayed at least 3 hours, you get $660. Ah, that's even better. Yeah, that's probably more than your plane ticket. Yeah, so you put in a claim and get it. See, that's right. All these places, all these little things that we all don't know about, and one airlines, I think United or Delta, who is it? United Airlines was fined for keeping. See, the United Airlines got fined too, so they got fined, and then they have to give you $660. They just got fined $1.9 million for keeping thousands of passengers stuck on planes for hours in violation of federal rules, the largest penalty of its kind. So people are still doing, well, the airlines are so screwed up. In all, 3,000 passengers were affected. Almost all the incidents involved bad weather, according to the order spelling out the basis for the fine. See, it was all bad weather. I don't know how they're going to control bad weather, but anyway, you could get $660 if it happens. You know, they would take any money they could get, right? So it's a complicated society, and it's fun trying to figure it out. Otherwise, you want to be bored and do nothing. That's fine. I just think it's more fun trying to figure stuff out and do something. Then you get a prize once in a while. See, you get a prize. Hey, you found $660. So it took you a week or something like that, fooling around part-time on it. You know, well, that's sort of neat, though. And then you know something to help other people too, and that's what I'm trying to do on Let's Go Help. That people help each other. You know, when you're on Let's Go Help and you become a member, remember, look at what other people are asking, see how you could help them too. Because then in turn, they'll help you. You know, and that's what life is about. We're all in this shit together. We're all struggling. Nobody has the answers. Everybody's guessing. They want to make you believe they know the answer, but they don't. Nobody knows. And then plus maybe they found an answer for themselves, but what works for you is going to be different. Yeah, so that's why I think any advice is just something to try that maybe it'll work for you too, but most likely not. You have to figure out your own way to get through this shit. You know, but the way you figure it out is by trying stuff that doesn't work. And if you don't start trying stuff that doesn't work, you'll never figure out what works for you. You just have to keep on failing. Okay? Get out there and fail. That's your job. Get out there and fail.